You know, we come to work, we're dressed, we're happy, we look the part, we're talking, we're at press conferences, we're at rallies, we're at hearings, we're managing our families. And so there's like a certain look that we all have, but behind that, I really understand the struggle and the sacrifice and the challenge that it takes every single day for us to be who we are. And there's something that I posted, it said something like, every day she doesn't know how she's going to do it, but every day it still seems to get done.
Because we are still as strong now as our mothers were strong, raising us. And we think about that strength being brought forward now in all of us and what we're able to bring to the table right now in the year 2019.
We go through so much as women in office, not just being able to care for our own families, but to care for a community as a whole. And it's just so important for women to be elected to office, in particular women of color, to be elected to office because we have a unique set of issues related to everything from equity to child care to health care.
What motivated me to become a council member? My mother. My mother was born in Poland, and she came here when she was 8 years old. My mother was the oldest, 13 at the time. After a few years, she had to go to work. And she was always strong. She would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, make breakfast for my father before he went to work. I didn't take after her.
Things change.
Through the strength of my mother, who really tried so hard to keep us together after, my father passed away, it was very trying, and I saw her strength throughout the entire things.
My mom was always very vocal, very outspoken, and very involved in things demanding justice, social justice. And I grew up in the AME Zion Church, which has a tradition of being involved in those kinds of issues. So it was all around me, although it was never a field that I planned for myself. But I was always involved in going to demonstrations and protest movements since I was 15 years old. I've tried to model my career, or this part of my time in politics, behind Shirley Chisholm. She, to me, is the ultimate. Her motto was unbought and unbossed.
I, too, grew up in a place where I didn't have privilege, where I didn't have automatic access to things. And now what I see is this sort of beautiful moment in time for women, when women can say, all that crap that we grew up with and just had to take as normal, being second class, it doesn't have to be that anymore. Mm-hmm. There is a possibility where there could be equal pay, where we could have all the things we need in order for us to be our true selves. Whether that has to do with shedding misogyny, shedding racism, shedding classism. We're at this beautiful moment where we, as the 11, small but mighty on the council, can actually grab this moment and do something with it.
I think it's really interesting that all of us come from this very different background, and it's like, what do we want to see together? I think that the way we see things is very, very different from a man. I think it's just the way that we look at things with a different set of eyes in terms of compassion, in terms of how we look at goals, and in terms of inclusivity.
Unfortunately, in the city council, there are only 11 of us out of 51. So we have a long way to go to make sure that we have woman representation and women leaders throughout the city. And we have to work very hard to encourage more women to get involved in politics, to run for office, or to work for elected official, so that we will have a pipeline of women leaders in the future.
we are the toughest women in the world, and we've been battle tested, and we've been tried again and again, and we still come out on top. So I really support and respect all of you.
Yay. Thanks, Lori.
And appreciate everyone's moms.
That's right.
Thank goodness for your moms.